Hello and welcome to the EDiscovery channel. This is Tom O'Connor back again, absent Craig Ball, who is, as we like to say, in the broadcasting media, and I'm assuming a lot by saying that. Craig is on assignment in Germany at the moment. Won't be returning for several weeks. We'll hook up with him again at the ILTA conference. And so in the meantime, George Socha has agreed to say a few words of wisdom. And George, of course, is with the EDRM, and he's brought along with him Chris LaCour, who is also now working with EDRM. And George and Chris are actually going to explain exactly what all that relationship is. George, will you be at ILTA?
Yes, I will, although I'm not sure that words of wisdom is the best way to start with this. But yes, I will be at ILTA, getting in Monday, staying through Thursday, and looking forward to a great conference there.
Yes. I'm coming in Sunday evening. I believe Craig comes in on Monday. I think he teaches his law school course on Monday afternoon. So we'll both be floating around and absolutely track it down. But why don't you tell us what's going on? What's the latest and greatest at the EDRM? I know you got some good news.
Well, we've got lots of latest and greatest going on, but I'll focus on one in particular today. It should come as no shock to anybody who's been following our various communications over the last couple of years that Tom Geltman has decided it's time to ride off into the sunset.
He's threatening that for a while, yeah.
For example, he will not be at our mid-year workshop, which this year we will be holding in conjunction with Relativity Fest.
Oh, great.
Something that's brand new for us. We're very excited about that. We're looking forward to it. It'll be a bit of a different structure. We'll shorten the workshop component, but we will have two presentation sessions, one looking at budget calculators, the other looking at our MSAT, the EDiscovery Maturity Self-Assessment Test. And we will have EDRM members presenting what they've been working on and talking with audience members about how to make good use of that. So that's a whole new thing for us, and something that by joining in with Relativity Fest, we for the first time have the opportunity to do. But as I said, Tom's not going to be there.
Yeah.
And we have decided after a number of discussions, back and forth communications of various types, various starts and stops, all sorts of different diversions along the way, that it's time to pull Chris in to give us some help. And we've given him a sufficiently vague title so that we can go in whatever directions are appropriate. Rather than trying to map everything out ahead of time, because as our good friend Browning Marine would say, no battle plan survives contact with the enemy, we're instead trying to stay fairly flexible. What we're looking for out of Chris initially is his help with expanding our outreach program, if you will, building out the educational components, so that you should see more of EDRM on the road, at conferences, at workshops, at programs we put on of our own. And Chris is going to be helping with all of that. We are, as his title would suggest, also looking to Chris for some help with the business development side, because as anybody who's trying to run any venture knows, if there's no money, you don't get too far with it. And so we have to make sure that we have enough funds coming in that we can keep doing the various things we've been doing for the past 10 and a half years now.
Great. Chris, tell us your thoughts on joining.
It's long overdue.
No, as I said, Chris and I have been talking about this for a while now.
Oh, great. Great. Okay.
No, as George mentioned, it's a good opportunity. There's great synergy between the both of us. Many people seem to forget that when I first started my company, George was second in line to Browning to help me launch what was then the Carmel Valley EDiscovery Retreat.
Right.
So we go back a little ways, and since that point in time, I've always enjoyed, working with George, having him moderate the various retreats over the years, and me being the entrepreneurial more thinking along those lines, I told them that, I think there's a lot of opportunity that, we should pursue and ways that we can go about doing that. And it just seemed like, timing is everything, and it's worked out.
Great. So will we be seeing you at either ILTA or the mid-year at Relativity Fest, or both?
ILTA still up in the air, but Relativity Fest, it looks like I will in fact be there. Yeah.
Oh, great. Great.
We're working on the details of Relativity Fest. Not as we talk, but email messages are going back and forth.
Right. Sure. And anything else in the works in terms of meetings, conferences, anything you can talk about or disclose at this point? Or is that still to be determined?
Chris?
Yeah, sure. It's to be determined. There's a lot that we have plans for. I'm still working on the overall calendar for 2016. I think one of the things that people should come to expect is that we have this think tank type of event that we want to get out on the road and visit major metropolitan hubs throughout the United States next year. I'll let the cat out of the bag a little bit here and just say that we're looking at doing a national event for the EDRM, which I think is a very, very good thing. So we'll, again, that's a bigger project, right? So, I mean, I don't want to be held to any time frame, but I mean, it's something that we're working on, and there's some other ideas. But besides that, the EDRM will be co-sponsoring all of the Ingenious related retreats. We have one coming up in beautiful Cape Cod, the week of November the 8th. So we'll be there, and George will be there. He did a fantastic job about a week or so ago here in Carlsbad, where we implemented a little bit of a new structure to the overall retreat agenda, and had some roundtable discussions, giving the attendees an opportunity to interact on a more personal level. And we plan on implementing the same for future retreats. So there's a lot, and we're also brainstorming on ways to add more value to the members and other peer-to-peer type advisory group settings where corporations, in particular practitioners, can come together and interact in a more intimate setting and talk about what keeps them up at night, so to speak, if they're willing to share.
Sure.
But there's a lot. There's a lot to come. It's all good, and I'm pleased and excited with the progress we've made so far.
That's great.
And part of what we're looking to do then is take those thoughts, those comments, those frustrations, and use them as part of our EDRM roadmap moving forward.
Okay.
What sets of materials do we build out or solicit from others to make available either to the public as a whole or to EDRM members only?
Great. So listen, Cape Cod, of course, is my old stomping grounds. I grew up in Boston. What town are you going to be in?
We'll be in Chatham.
All right. Excellent. Chatham. I had a good friend who's married a girl whose family lived in Chatham, or lived there half the year. How about information on that? Is that on the EDRM site? Where would we tell people to look to get more information about that?
Yeah, sure. So the Ingenious founder and the team, the staff, is taking a much needed vacation for right now. So we don't have it listed up on our website. Shame on us. I'm working on it and getting the details, and we'll have that up before the end of the month. And we'll start our e-blast and, letting the community know about the event. But there's plenty of opportunity for people to get involved, engaged. One of the things I like is that we're providing technology companies with an opportunity to provide demonstrations. George has a certain way that we want to go about implementing those demonstrations with actual use case, real life examples, which I think is a great opportunity for people to show their wares, specifically technology vendors. The roundtables are going to continue to grow, and there was a lot of discussion from the retreat that we had here in Southern California for many future topics in mind for panel discussions. So that was fantastic, and I got a lot of great feedback about that. And last but not least, one of my favorites, which George finally had a chance to experience, was cooking class. So one of the things that we do is we put together a cooking class event the night prior, and what better way to interact with your colleagues or meet potential people than by cooking together? So, George can elaborate a little bit more on his experience, but we had close to about 24, 25 people join a cooking class, and we plan on keeping that in the overall agenda. It's just a great opportunity for people to network.
And as someone who Shortly after graduating from college, turned down the opportunity to become a co-owner of a restaurant. I, for one, really like and appreciate cooking classes, but I thought it did a great job of helping as an icebreaker before the event to get people more comfortable with each other, and give them a chance to interact in a way that you don't get to do in the sessions.
Sure.
So I thought it was a great icebreaker, a great start, and I'm just looking forward to more of those.
Well, I think at some point then, Chris, you got to make sure that George endows on the rest of the group his skill in the making of pizzas.
Yes.
I need people to come visit me here in St. Paul, not in January.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Well, this is great. I'm really glad we got an opportunity to talk about this. Real quick before we leave, though, George.
Yeah.
One thing we're trying to get some more buzz going about it. As you know, I've been on the group inside EDRM is the whole billing code issue, trying to entice, if you will, people to get involved and make that more active. Can you just say a few words about that?
Yeah, I mean, one of the various things we've worked on for many years in EDRM now is the metrics side of things. Because if you don't measure what you're doing, how do you budget? How do you forecast? How do you match your anticipated actions with your performance? How do you do all of that? And we developed over time a series of codes that ultimately became modified and adopted as the L600 series in the UTBMS codes. So codes specifically for EDiscovery. Adoption of the UTBMS codes in general and the L600 codes in particular continues to be slow, shall we say.
Yes.
So we're working in EDRM to try to figure out how to move that forward without going into greater detail than I ought to. We will also be having a group probably of 6 or 7 fairly high-profile folks meeting at ILTA for a breakfast meeting to do some brainstorming about what we can do to push this all forward as well. That, Tom, is news to you.
Okay. As you know, that's why I brought it up. I'm trying to get as much publicity around this as we can, or discussion, not publicity so much, to try to get some folks engaged. Yeah, the opportunity is there. The codes are there. Getting people to do it has proven problematic. So I just wanted to throw that out there without getting more into it. Perhaps that's something we can talk about more in detail in this venue at ILTA, and get some real detailed or specific PR or attention on that. Gentlemen, I want to thank you again. Chris, great to have you as part of the EDRM family. I hate to see Tom go, of course, but certainly you're bringing a lot of substance and weight to the group and some great ideas. I'm really looking forward to that. George, always a pleasure to talk to you. I want to thank you so much. I'll look forward certainly to seeing you at ILTA. Hopefully, Chris, you. If not, I'll see you in Chicago for the mid-year. Thanks very much, and we'll say goodbye for now from the eDiscovery channel. Hope to see you all at ILTA the 30th of September through the 3rd of September, I think, is it, roughly, in Las Vegas at Caesars Palace. Go to Las Vegas, go to Caesars Palace. You'll find us. We'll be there. Thanks so much, gentlemen. See you next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.